So what does cannabis really do? Everything, actually. So just take that in for a second. But CB1, so cannabinoid 1 receptor, all over the brain. CB2, really mostly glial cells and brainstem. And it affects things all over the body, particularly neurodevelopment, reward systems, might have something to do with your emetic reflex. So that kind of speaks to actually what cannabinoids are approved for. So it's all over the body. What it actually does is an example of retrograde neurotransmission, and that has to do with that backwards transmission that's regulatory function when it comes to neurotransmission. So the endocannabinoid precursors live in the lipid membranes. When neurotransmitter binding triggers this release, then endocannabinoids come on to one of the CB receptors, and that will inhibit the release of the inhibitory and excitatory neurotransmitters. So that's the point of retrograde, and that's really what endocannabinoids do on the receptor. And then the different receptors and ligands, you have 2-AG, the high efficacy agonist, and anandamide, the low efficacy agonist. And the CB2s really mostly live in immune cells, and CB1s are central and peripheral neuron terminals kind of all over the body. So how does this maybe interact when it comes to development? The endocannabinoid system is implicated in neural stem cell survival. It is implicated in proliferation. It is implicated in migration, so telling the cells where to go, as well as neurite outgrowth and direct axonal growth. So the endocannabinoid system is huge when it comes to this like prenatal neurodevelopment. And then finally, the positioning of the cortical interneurons, kind of a critical thing, and we'll see why that matters in a minute. Also, in adolescent development, remember this is the huge pruning time, and during pruning, CB1 receptors are going up and up and up and up and up, and then they kind of fall off when you're an adult. So this may also be a critical point during this adolescent developmental pruning period in the endocannabinoid system, because it regulates glutamate, GABA, synaptic pruning, and white matter development. So what does the cannabis do? Well, look back at all these things that the endocannabinoid system hits, and it might be a problem when it comes to neurodevelopment. It might be a problem with memory and reward. It might treat pain. It might have a positive antiemetic. I think actually that's fairly well established. It may have some problems when it comes to your cardiovascular health. IBS might be a positive thing. Coordination, not so positive. It might improve your appetite. Intraocular pressure is famous, right? Glaucoma. Immune function, maybe. And then it might impair fertility. So think of all these places that the cannabinoids can come in and either cause problems or be a therapeutic.